Okay. Settling in for another session. And just taking a minute to check in with your body. Do a little bit of orienting relative to the things around you. Notice how your body is supported by the chair or the bed or the couch or the floor or the cushion, whatever surface it is that you find yourself sitting upon. Notice how that surface is making contact with your root chakra, your root center, your feet. What other parts of your body are being supported? Whether that's pillows behind you or the back of a chair. Just taking a moment to notice how that connection is made with your body. And if it's available to you, gently closing your eyes once you've found yourself in a position of stillness, once you've found what feels good, closing your eyes. And maybe stretching your arms a little bit. Right now I'm seeing that it might feel good to kind of stretch our arms across our bodies, giving those shoulders just a little bit of traction, releasing some tension held in the back and the tops of those shoulders, right? Have you been holding your shoulders up close to your ears? And if so, just kind of letting them fall down. And maybe stretching a little bit above the head, stretching out the armpit, that side body. Okay, noticing that this music is not going to work for me. I'm just going to gently find something else. Yeah, we'll just do this. Okay, we're going to get generic, but that's okay. Sometimes you gotta have a little generic music. A little bit of spa, just like freaking spa music. Oh man, that reminds me of the spa that I go to. It feels like they always play like that one song by Massive Attack. Which always makes me laugh because it's like it's 2025 and we're playing Massive Attack. Not that they're not great, but like there's been so much great ambient and like trip hoppy, like down tempo music released in the last 30 years, right? But no, it's always Massive Attack and 07 and stuff like that. So yeah, the Garden State soundtrack era. And anybody who is my age knows that just how influential that one album was on all of music. It's like our collective music tastes were changed by that album. It's far outlived the movie. I mean, the movie was fine, but anyway. This is your daily meditation on the Garden State soundtrack. It's important to, when you come into meditation, to remember to have lightness. Remember to bring levity to it, because if you get serious and very take it very seriously, when you start looking at things and you start noticing energy, it's easy for that energy to latch into you and to take advantage of you if you take yourself too seriously. So always have a sense of humor and a bit of levity when you are approaching your meditation. It will make things so much easier. Always. And if you want poop jokes, go learn from my teachers, Olivia and Mel, because they are constantly talking about poop. Specifically pooping your pants, often. So it's nice to normalize, talking about things like that. Yeah, so no, don't actually poop your pants right now unless you really need to. But I recommend actually pausing this meditation and then going and sitting on the toilet. And you know what? Maybe you're meditating on the John, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good place to let go. Anyway, right now I'm just being reminded that in a lot of childbirth classes, they'll tell you to just sit on the toilet for hours while you're in like early labor. Didn't work for me. I just couldn't relax. It's not comfy. It's not cozy. I don't want to bring my pillow to the toilet, but a lot of people swear by it. So that's kind of like meditating on the toilet, if you think about it. And that childbirth metaphor, I think that came up in my in the one I recorded earlier today. Right now it's the evening of October 29th, so it's only been about 6 or 8 hours since the last time I sat down to record, but something that's been coming through, and I can't remember if I said this in that session or one before that, or if I've even shared this yet, but something that's been coming through for me a lot lately is that right now we are in like early labor of this new world that we're building, right? And anybody who has gone through childbirth, especially anybody who has done so unmedicated, no value judgments on that, just different experience. But early labor is the worst. It's like it goes on forever and it hurts like a motherfucker. And you're like, what do you mean this is early labor? What do you mean? Like, wasn't that early labor what was happening before? And it's like, no, that wasn't even labor yet. That was just the warm up. Now you're in early labor and you're like, fuck. So right now, looking all around us, looking at the world, looking at the world we live in right now, we are in early labor right now. So there's the contractions, those waves of just like this pure destructive force that are coming through. Watching the ruling class try to turn the screws on us and implement their fascist takeover, crash the economy, like cut off people's benefits, or maybe they'll like turn them back on to look like heroes, all of that stuff. Like these are the contractions. These are the ripples of destruction that have to precede the birth of something new. And another thing that I had seen was that, as fucking terrible as it sounds, this is still the highest timeline. This is still the best path that we could be on, given everything that's happened in the past, given the timeline we've been on up until now. We are still on the highest timeline that we could be on at this juncture. and that everything that's happened, especially in the United States, especially with our government, with, you know, the like fascist takeover, essentially, the complete destruction of our government, the hollowing out of our social institutions, all of this has to happen. It needs to happen. It needs to come crumbling down. And it's not going to be pretty while it's happening, but this system has not been supportive for anybody except for the very few, the ruling class, for a very, very long time. And the sooner that we, especially as white people, realize that and get behind the new thing that's coming up and atone for the sins of our ancestors, the sooner we can build a beautiful, just, peaceful world in which we all kind of share these interlocking roles and have this not even like a safety net, but a web, right? I'm seeing this image right now of all of the people of the earth kind of holding hands in, not in like a circle kind of way, but in more of like an interweaving way. And there are psychic hands, right? These aren't our physical hands, but like psychic hands are just like reaching out and making connections with people behind our backs, behind other people's backs, and in front of some people and all around. And everybody is making this like beautiful woven quilt of humanity where we have support from all directions, and where every person is cherished and valued and supported and held, not by some sort of top-down hierarchical system where the president or the government or the state gives you something because or for no reason, right? But rather a model, a non-hierarchical distributed network of true mutual aid and caring that is backed up by a network of psychic connections where we don't even have to ask for the help that we need. The help that what we need shows up for us at the moment that we need it. But that's what I'm seeing as kind of where we're going, what we're trying to build right now. And of course, where we are is not there. Where we are is in this place where we are isolated, right? We're all stuck in these little tiny boxes, individual boxes, right? It's almost like a collection of like baseball cards or figurines or something, where each and every one is in its own little lucite box, right, on a shelf, and they can't touch each other and they can't see each other, and they all just have to stay separate, right? And that's right now, that's where we are right now, right? We're all like, and it's not that you even are given the box, it's that there's a certain number of boxes. Well, there's enough boxes for everybody, but don't get it twisted. That doesn't mean that you just get a box. You have to fight tooth and nail for these cheap and affordable boxes. And maybe if you have a bad day, then you're going to get kicked out of your box, and then they'll, jack up the rent and try to get somebody else to move in. But individual boxes, like, or tents, or like, just kind of off to the side, right? Um, yeah, and when we're living in these rectangles, we are separate from each other, and we're separated from our intuition, and we are essentially forced into our left brain, analytical, linear thinking, linear time model of existence. Speaking of funny things to kind of just hold in your mind and make you laugh at times, one day during my meditation, someone on my spirit team just dropped in and told me that rectangles are rectangles are a technology of mind control. Actually, this might have been, I think the mushrooms were involved when this one came in. But yeah, they told me that rectangles are tools of mind control, and that whenever you look at a rectangle, your intuitive brain is shut off and your analytical brain is turned on. So it's essentially a psyop that we all live in rectangles, and that our entire world is made of rectangles, and it's designed to keep us out of our intuitive knowing. So take from that what you will. I was just like, well, of course at the time. And now I look at that guy and I'm just like, that's pretty funny, right? Like, what if you went around, what if you wandered the streets with a sign that was and the sign of course can't be a rectangle, or maybe it is a rectangle just to be ironic or completely unself-aware, but a sign that was just rectangles are a tool of mind control. Say no to rectangles. Kind of like that birds aren't real movement, but instead of birds, it's rectangles. Oh, I love it. Yeah, so there's a humor. There's a amusement picture for you for today. It's just me walking down the street with a poster board sign made with a yardstick and a piece of poster board that says rectangles are brainwashing you, or something like that. Yeah. But again, I do think there's some validity to it, which is why it's funny. So, in this new world that we're birthing, maybe we can live in circles. Maybe we can live in amorphous blobs and in domes and more organic shapes that allow for the natural movement and flow of our energy bodies, as well as fitting nicely together, right? Instead of making space efficiency our top concern in this new world, where we don't have to have shared physical proximity to be able to work well together, because we will have these psychic connections coming online with our fractal, with our lineage, our people, right? Maybe we can spread out a little bit and have more space to live in these more natural shapes. So that's something I'm speaking out into existence, that I want to not live in rectangles anymore after a certain point. Oh, yeah. My ear started itching, which I think is probably a sign of something, but I haven't quite figured out what it is yet. I'm just going to look at that and see No, it's just physical discomfort to kind of keep me off track. Yeah, so we're in this birthing process right now, and we're in early labor. We're in the part where you are just looking forward and going, this is so daunting, and this is only the beginning. Like, not even to the point of, like transition where it gets really hard. I think that we're going to hit in about 2 years. I think year and a half. I think 2027 is going to be that transition phase where it's just like, fuck, I don't think I can do this anymore. But right now, we are just getting rocked by these waves, right? Because there's no control. You don't have any control over this process, right? This process takes over your body, right? It takes over your life, and you have no conscious control over it. It's out of your hands, and so these waves are just going to keep coming. And the only way to get out, like the only way out, is through, which I think that's one of the things I said when I was in labor was somebody really needs to find another way out that's not through. But the lesson is always one of surrender, right? No one ever got through it by successfully controlling it. You get through it by surrendering to it and going with the flow. And when I say surrender, I don't mean that in the like new age, spiritual, patriarchal, version of like, you just need to surrender to what I want. I mean, all of us need to collectively surrender to what wants to come through us. Like surrendering to our art, right? Surrendering to our craft, surrendering to trusting that our own actions are going to lead us in the right direction. Trusting our bodies, trusting our own wisdom. That is what is going to get us through together. And yeah, things are going to get dark, right? Things are going to get tough over the next couple of years. And the only way we're going to make it through is by making connections with people, the people that we want to see in our fractal line, in our psychic network, essentially. And if you're listening to this, you're already like, we're cool, right? Like, making connections with these people that are the ones that we want to build the new world with together. And strengthening and reinforcing those social bonds, whether that's through sharing food, supporting each other, sharing, whatever the daily labor, the work, exchanging anything that humans need and anything that humans want or crave, right? A hug, physical touch, proximity, intimacy, conversation. Right now is a time to be seeking these things out, especially from the people that you want to be with on the other side in 2-3 years, when things start looking better on the whole, on the grand scheme. Who do you want on your team? And it's not like we're going to have, not like we're going to be fighting, not like our teams are going to be like survival oriented and, toting guns around and trying to keep everybody else out. Like, I think that is part of what's going to die in these next few years. That illusion that we can defend ourselves from ourselves. Because remember, we're all one. We're all part of the same human body, right? The body of humanity. And anything you do violently, non-consensually, in anger, in jealousy, hurts yourself. It only hurts yourself. It digs your karmic well deeper, and some people are going to be stuck digging themselves out of that karma for another for a longer time. Different sources kind of vary on what that's going to look like, but there's definitely there's this notion that we are currently unwinding and untangling and picking apart our interpersonal karma, that the wounds that bind us, right? The ways that we perpetuate the harm that is inflicted upon us, down through generations and across time. The work right now is to unweave and to pick apart those knots and to break the cycle of abuse and harm. And eventually the work is going to be to forgive and atone for all of these, all of the horrors that humanity has inflicted upon ourselves, right? To sink our fingers deep into these tangled nets, these tangled, nasty knots of vengeance and retribution and fear and anger and hatred, and to just extricate ourselves and to unwind and to just pick apart these knots, right? And the image that I'm working with right now is just this really tangled knot, right? I'm like looking at the tangles of our karma, and just kind of, and this is one of my superpowers. One of the things that I came into this life with an ability to do is I can untie any fucking knot. I can't tie knots for shit, but I can untie any fucking knot. Like, it doesn't matter how big it is. It doesn't matter, unless as long as I can get something into the center of the knot and I can get a little bit of loose, as long as the material isn't physically bound to itself, I can untie any fucking knot. Like, that's one of my superpowers. And so right now what I'm looking at is I have this like really nasty fucking knot of like dark black, heavy karmic cord, and I'm just slowly unwinding it, and I'm slowly just like pulling these threads out, and bringing the light of day, getting some air, so getting some space in between the ways that we are wound together. And this goes back to that new physics theory that I have been obsessed about since I read about it last month, of topological unified field theory, that says that the universe is a ball of yarn and each of us are fibers. Every particle is a fiber. Every person, everything is, through the course of time, something that is like a point or an object in 3D space-time becomes a fiber in time space, right? And the places where we come together or are born or die are these places where the phases of those threads change, right? So a single thread can split into two, or two threads can split into one. Threads can end, new threads can begin, but they're always going to go or come out of something else, because we're all made out of matter, and we don't create or destroy matter right now much, right? For the most part. And so karma isn't really this idea of like what goes around comes around, but what it is it's just the sum total of all of the knots that we've tied ourselves into through our actions and through our histories together. Anytime that we perpetuate violence, we're looped back on it, right? And a lot of us, and I think many of you who are listening to this right now may resonate with this, we came here to help untie these knots. Like, there are definitely souls and people who are from Earth and who have only lived on Earth. Not very many, to be perfectly honest. Most souls have spent time in many different locations, but the thing that brought us to Earth right here, right now, whether it's your first time, your 10th time, your 100th time on Earth, right? What brought you here was this mass, this tangled knot of karma that is enveloping the planet right now, right? That is coming to light, right? It's not new. It's just, it's time to take it apart. It's time to stop making it worse. It's time to bear witness to the pain underneath it, and to, just slowly pull those fibers out, take, stop the cycle, and untangle the karma. So that's what we're doing. That's why we're here. And I think I have a framework for understanding a lot of the pain and the things that you have experienced in your life, especially if they feel unfair. And I'm going to share that framework with you right now. And I want to preface it by saying that I don't believe that you are experiencing the traumas, the karma, the traumas or the violence or the abuse or anything that you either are experiencing right now or you have experienced in your life. I do not believe that you're experiencing it because either A, you deserve it and it's punishment for bad behavior in previous incarnations, or B, that you signed up for it to learn the lesson, that it's teaching you something. I don't believe in either of those things. What I do believe, and this is something that I only would share with somebody who is an adult and who is no longer in an active abusive situation, but what I do believe is that in many cases, that karmic knot of that abusive situation needed to be experienced by somebody, and it needed to be witnessed and held and the cycle broken. Otherwise it would perpetuate into infinity. It needed somebody with awareness to experience it and to break out of it. Otherwise, people would have kept, like souls would have kept being caught into that web, and that knot would just keep getting worse and worse. And you were the only person who was brave enough. And were like, send me in, I can do it. And again, I don't mean that in any sort of a, you signed up for this or you deserve this or anything like that. It's purely on the scale of somebody had to do it. So thank God that you were brave enough, right? So if that resonates for you, I hope that's helpful. I don't ever want that to be a framework that's ever weaponized against somebody. And I would never share it with somebody who's in an active abuse situation. It's more for understanding things looking back once you've separated from it. Especially for, adult survivors of childhood neglect and abuse. Because so often these cycles are intergenerational. Though of course they are also interpersonal and intimate partner relationships as well. Different mechanics than the vertical chains. The horizontal loops are different mechanics, but yeah, so I don't know if you guys can see, like if you're sitting here and watching what I've been doing while I've been talking about this, but like look at the difference between this like nasty knot, like that heavy chunk of like knotted cords that I started out with, and look at what we've got right now. Like it's still a little tangled, like there's still a lot of fibers in there, but there's so much more space, there's so much more breathing room, and it's almost gone. Like that big heavy knot that I sat down to untangle is almost gone. There it is, right? My dog agrees. Juniper says, okay, well, that feels complete for today. If you feel like you have released a lot during this process, and yes, you have, I would just invite you to notice right above the crown of your head that there is the tiniest little seed of a sun, of a golden sun, and that as you start to notice this golden sun, it is going to grow and grow and grow. Yeah, look at that. Just getting bigger and brighter and getting more golden sun. Oh, yeah, somebody who's here has a beautiful golden sun. Oh my gosh, that one is amazing. It reminds me of Eric Carle's children's books, especially the Brown Bear. The goldfish. It's like the same like almost like collage type of art, with like yellows and golden rods and just beautiful primary colors. Oh yeah. Okay, so that got distracted by your shiny gold sun. That golden sun just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it's like so big that, like, bigger than your house, bigger than like a big building, whatever. Like it's just this huge golden sun that's just hovering like 3 inches above the top of your head, filled up and, just really teeming with this energy that you need right now, whether you are about to go to bed, whether you're just waking up and starting your day, whatever the energy that you need right now, is in that golden sun, and just envision that it comes down and it touches the top of your head, and then it just like two bubbles merging, pours its contents into your body, into your physical body, into your etheric body, into your astral body, coming all the way down into your energetic body, through the top of your head, flowing down your face, your neck, your shoulders, arms and hands, flowing down your chest, your back, your sides, coming down in through your belly, into the hips, into the bottom, into the thighs, knees, ankles, toes, and feet. Your whole physical body is filled up with this golden sunlight, and then it just keeps radiating outward, and there's more, and there's more, and there's more, and so it just pours out of your whole physical body, filling up your entire aura with this beautiful golden sun, golden light of energy from that golden sun. And when that feels complete, you can gently wiggle your fingers and toes and open your eyes if that feels supportive. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Good night and good luck.